So maybe just stepping back, can you describe just to like a regular user what is Hashable and why do they want to use it?
Yeah, so Hashable is a service that allows you to see who your friends are meeting in real time. So like Foursquare, you can see where your friend is. I'm at Starbucks. On Hashable, people that are connected to me in my inner circle, my private friends list, they can see that you and I are together right now. And before we sat down today, I actually checked in with you and said, I'm with Chris Dixon.
And it's not public though.
In that particular case, I used your Twitter handle, so that was public, but I did that.
But it's not, is it default? I mean, I guess, is it default public?
No, it's not, unless you use someone's Twitter handle. So if you use someone's Twitter handle, it's default public. You have the ability to make it private on the fly. And if you use someone's email address.
I think you were telling me before the show about how you'd started off being all public and then you sort of switched. Can you talk about that process?
Yeah, so I mean, we were never sure. We were never positive as to whether the service should be default public or default private. And I think, you get 5 smart people in a room and they'll give you 2.5 answers. So I wasn't sure. I had my misgivings about the default public concept. I've always, my goal in life was always to be rich and anonymous. And up until a couple of years ago, I had been achieving that. But Hashable has forced me to be a little more public, which is okay. And so, look, it was something I was watching all along and listening to anecdotal feedback and user feedback, and it's one of those things where
you started off all public, and
we started off all public, and now you can build sort of a friends list.
And the thought was that part of the. I mean, I think a lot of these services, people call it peacocking or something. Like it's like where you want to show off who you're meeting with, you want to show off where you're checking in.
And I think that gets old fast, and I think there's always a subset of people that want to use services like, or that can or will use services like that if they're set up that way. So there was a little bit of that. But people kept coming back to us and saying, yeah, but I want to take all this data and export it to Outlook, or I want to do all these really boring CRM-like things with it. And so I always thought that that's where this was heading. And I think it's very clear now that that's where it's heading. People want something that's fun-ish to use on the front end. They want it to be very mobile, which it really is. You can use it from... I note that I'm meeting with you, and then later on I have this database of all of my meetings. It creates a wonderful, rich, structured database for you and for me with very little typing.
And that also gives you the contact information, so you don't need to exchange business cards.
Bingo. Okay. Yeah, so people are using it to send and receive business cards. If you have the app and I have the app, we can send in and receive business cards with a few swipes of our thumb. We're also working on a new service that if you pass someone your business card electronically over Hashable, it'll tell you everybody that that knows that person.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which is really kind of what we try to do as business people all the time. Yeah. We try to figure out who we know that knows this person, so we're doing it electronically.
Interesting. Yeah.
So we're working on a lot of fun stuff like that, and I think I'm on the right side of the trend now, and I think the team is sort of got their head around what the product really is now after months of debate. When you've had some success, and one of the misgivings Union Square had about me before they invested was, are you just going to steamroll us? You've had some success. Are you just going to tell us to go fly a kite every time we have a suggestion? Are you going to steamroll your employees? And I said, no, that's not my personality. I like consensus, but at some point someone's got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And so when you run a company, you want to be deferential, but you can overdo it. And so I try to strike that balance.